Hi, welcome to Manas Shil YouTube channel. Before we start, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you. Let's start the video. If you haven't watched the previous video, I'll link it in the description box, or you can click here. Chapter 2, A Short-Lived Everyday Life. Rimuru goes to Milim's territory. Hey, Milim. I'm already here, but is there no one at the meeting place? Rimuru. I'm busy with my homework, but I told Milim properly. Perhaps he misunderstood the time. I'll give him a strong reminder, so please don't be angry with him. You get the idea. I guess she was so busy with the homework Free-san gave her that she forgot to give him my message. I understand, no need to panic. I'll see you later. These things happen. With that in mind, I diligently waited for the pickup while calming down career. However, something unexpected happened next. One of the people who rushed over made an outrageous remark. Oh, you must be the demon lord Rimuru-sama. You are even more dignified than I had heard, and with such an impressive presence. Jogi, am truly impressed. The speaker, Jogi, bowed reverently towards Gabble. Apparently, Jogi's race is like a dragonite. Unlike Gabble, Jogi has a human form, with horns growing out of the side of his head. He is small in stature, but has a sturdy physique and sharp movements. The 5 Magians with him did not seem to have any noteworthy characteristics other than being diverse in race. For some reason, Jogi had scars all over his body that appeared to be freshly made. That worried me a little, but he looked fine and healthy, so I guess it wasn't a problem. What was more troubling was Jogi's comment itself. I was stunned, but I think Gabble was the one who reacted with the most surprise. No, I'm not Rim. Oh, my goodness. You don't need to greet a low-ranking captain like me. There is not a single person under Demon Lord Milim-sama's command who does not know your name. He hurriedly tried to deny it, but was interrupted by that misunderstanding bastard's outburst. Even if you know my name, what's the point, if you don't know my face? There were many Magians who knew my face, but it seems that this low-ranking captain was not one of them. As for the reason why Jogi mistook Gabble for me, I think it was the hockey. I had completely suppressed my Yauki, and outwardly appeared as a normal human being. The same was true of Carrere and Esprit, who didn't look like demons or even Magians. Well, because there were many human guests in Tempest, we had a habit of keeping our Yauki at bay. However, things can't go on like this. It's been a long time since I've been treated like this, and I was enjoying it, but Carrere and Esprit have very little patience. Hey, that person is Gabi, what's with you people? Aren't you guys supposed to be maidservants? You may be wearing a military uniform, but if you're interrupting an adult conversation, you're not getting the education you need. And now again, he interrupted Esprit. To be honest, I thought he was the one who lacked education. Wahaha, he's a pretty funny guy, isn't he? Carrere was laughing. Despite her words, I could see the veins bulging on her temples. She seemed to be trying her best to hold back. It looks like she's 3 seconds away from exploding, so now is not the time to be laughing. Just as I was thinking that, Esprit moved before me. Hey, can you please just listen to me? She said so firmly, and put her hands on Jogi. It was not so much of a punch as it was a strong action. A weaker Magian would have been unable to react, and probably would have been knocked unconscious by the blow to the cheek. Normally, I should be angry with Esprit, but this time it was Jogi's fault. He mistook Gabble for me, and did not listen to us. Although it was not good to resort to violence, Carrere had been about to lash out. Esprit's action was based on her understanding of the situation, so I decided to ignore it. I thought that, if Jogi would calm down and listen to us, it would end the conversation there. However, something unexpected happened next. Jogi reacted to Esprit. Here. The attack was instantaneous. Jogi grabbed Esprit's left back fist with his right hand, and twisted it lightly. As if to catch Esprit off guard, he used his right foot to sweep her off her feet, while she was off balance. Esprit leaped as if to avoid the low kick-like sweep, or perhaps it was because she had read the attack. Then, twisting her body in midair, she threw a kick with her right foot towards Jogi's head. Jogi dodged the kick by bending his upper body, but that was not the end of Esprit's attack. Using her grabbed fist as an axis, Esprit kicked with her left leg, returning the kicked right leg like a pendulum. In this way, she aimed at Jogi's neck, so that her right and left legs intersected. It was an acrobatic technique, like something you might have seen in a comic book, but it would be difficult to deal with at first glance. And yet, Jogi evaded the barrage by releasing Esprit's fist, and doing a backflip. And so, the two sides went back at it once more, but at this rate, both sides were going to end up getting serious. Well, you seem to be quite the pleasant young lady. The fact that you're taking it easy on me, it's no wonder you're wearing a military uniform. Jogi snapped his neck as he began speaking. You good too, old man. I think I'm going to enjoy this a little bit, so let's show them how serious we are, shall we? In response, Esprit began smiling very nicely as she cracked her knuckles. Carrera was unperturbed. It was obvious from her happy smile that she had no intention of stopping them as Esprit's boss. Gabble was very unreliable at times like these. Because of Ultima, he seemed to have been traumatized by the 3 demon girls. This time it was Esprit, but he didn't seem sure if he should talk to me or not. Gabble glanced at me. "Ah geez, it seems that I'm the only one here with any common sense." I had no choice but to intervene. First, I decided to call out the person in charge. Yes, that's enough. Joggy-san, right. You won't talk to me, so go get your boss. I stepped forward and called out to him in a grandiose manner. I think I was pretty cool, but I'd give myself an 80. I waited for Joggy's reply, feeling proud of myself. And then, don't interfere in a man's fight. Something like that. I was instantly offended. But at the next moment, you're being disrespectful to Rimuru-sama. Carrera kicked him with lightning speed. Even I have reached my end of my patience. Gabble's spear struck down the Joggy who had been blown away. Oh, I was late. There was no turn left for Esprit, who had been facing him. And as for me, you guys. Nothing happened here. Okay? I lightly intimidating the Magins that Joggy had brought with him in an attempt to destroy the evidence. As it turned out, there was no need to threaten Joggy. The fault turned out to be on Milim's side. Wahahaha. Now you realize that it's not my fault, don't you? Yeah. I had thought you forgot to tell them, but I didn't realize that you were having fun playing a winner-takes-all game to see who would pick us up. The winner was Joggy, but the war criminal was Midley. How can that be? I don't understand. No, my guys are bloodthirsty, but Midley's guys are no slouches either. Free-san was holding her head in her hands in disgust, and Carrion was laughing with his stomach. So, was this Joggy guy any good? Well, he was strong. I'd say he was about 50-50 with Phobio-san. I replied to Carrion, who suddenly asked me with a serious face, with my honest impression. In fact, he was slightly inferior, when comparing on the amount of magic heals, but his skill, level, against Esprit was quite good. He might also have shape-shifting ability like Gabble, in which case my evaluation would be even higher. However, Phobio can also transform himself into a beast, so the gap between the two would never narrow, and I'm sure Phobio would win in a real fight. Nevertheless, Joggy is quite skilled. Like Midley, the priests of the worshippers of dragons are really strong. Because they do not rely on power alone, they are versatile, and are able to use that to their advantage. Even so, they are muscleheads. It's quite an unfortunate reality. I'm apologize for the state of affairs. I have failed in my supervision. With that said, Midley bowed his head. Well, I can imagine that Joggy was also inspired by this man, so I couldn't deny that Midley was largely responsible. So, you career don't know, right? Gabble don't know, and I would appreciate your cooperation with our country for the time being. In times like these, it was up to Free-san. Carrion was a great king, but he also loved to fight. He was more like Midley, and had not yet abandoned his innate values, that the weak were bad. This time, or rather, we are saved in many respects, because we were the strong ones. If we had been weaker, we would not have been able to negotiate as well as we did. In that respect, I was pretty lucky. Well then, Carrera-san. Why don't you have a little test of strength with me? You see, Carrion's got something to say. Ho, that's quite the spirit you've got there. Just tell me how much you want me to go easy on you. Don't just join in so easily, Carrera. Whoa, hey now. It's fine, Millard. I hear Carrion Dono has evolved. So then, it's only natural that he'd want to know how much stronger he's become. Well, that may be true, but this isn't the labyrinth, you know. If you overdo it, you could die, so you guys have to refrain from such dangerous behavior. Gabble and Free-san were the only ones who nodded at my words. However, the others looked dissatisfied. Especially Milim. That's boring. Free-san got angry at her. Don't say that, she said. But well, for practicality's sake, I couldn't allow it. They couldn't do it near the construction site, and would have to go to a place far enough away that wouldn't be affected by the battle. To do so right here would be like asking the enemy to aim right at us. Even so, Carrion was surprisingly insistent. Sure, I know it's dangerous. But I meant what I said when I said that. I want to know how strong I've become before the showdown. Carrion even asked Free-san to agree with him. Well, come to think of it, I had Seal-san. At the time, it had just been Wisdom King, Raphael, but it still answered all my questions, so I hadn't needed to test my strength to learn what I could do. In the case of Carrion and the others, the only way to find out was to test their strength by themselves. It made sense that the quickest way to find out was to fight the strongest person. I won't deny that. But isn't that a problem you've always had and will always have to deal with on your own? That's true. But the enemy won't wait for us, you know. We have to get stronger quickly and protect the people who believe in us. To do that, we have to be willing to take some risks, don't you think? Free-san lost the battle. She seemed unable to say anything back once the duties of a king were brought up. If he had only wanted to brag about his power, I would have dismissed it, but because he had a reason, it was a question I should consider. Rimuru, I agree with Carrion's opinion. I'm training him now, but I think there are limits to what I can do. Milim is right. It's a shame, but now that I've awakened, I understand. I thought I had been getting stronger, but Milim still seemed so far away. And Rimuru, the difference between you and me is the same. There is a gap between you and me that cannot be bridged, no matter how hard I try. On that note, Fufu, do you think I can reach you? I've been beaten, but I think you're right that it's better than dealing with Milim-sama. I see, I don't think there's much of a difference between me and Carrera in my current state, but if Carrion feels that way, then it proves that his eyes are able to see the essence of things. He also thought highly of Carrion, and if he could use the power he had awakened, he would be a great asset in the future war. It was also a request from Milim. In that case, the right thing to do would be to cooperate. Alright. Then I'll return with Carrion and Freesan, and Carrera will stay here and defend as planned. I'm the other one who, there are suitable people in the labyrinth. I understand. As you wish, Millard. I feel bad for being so gloomy, but I mustn't show my naivety here. Carrera was overkill. Ramrus's complaints were giving me a headache, and it was wiser to have a more sensible partner, if I wanted to leave Carrion and the others in charge. Carrion could have Benimaru. Or Zijin. For Freesan, Kumara would be a good choice. I'd work out the details, after I got back. If something happened, I could be contacted, and would immediately send them back via teleport. I'm sorry, I've been a bit selfish. That's okay. I'm only cooperating with Carrion, because I think he's right. Is that okay with you, Freesan? Yes, of course. It's very kind of you to offer, so I see no reason to refuse. And so that's how it went. Gabble and Carrera were left under Milim's command, and Carrion and the others were brought back with me. Incidentally, Carrion's subordinates were left to their own discretion. As long as they had not awakened, the environmental destruction wouldn't be so bad, I think. I had sent them a large supply of recovery medicine, so they should be able to handle the rest on their own. Benimaru and the others had gotten stronger that way, so they weren't worried about that. After returning from Milim's country, Carrion and the others were left in Benimaru's care and thrown into the labyrinth. Finally, it was time to go to Leon's country. I had sent Diablo ahead of me, but I put off my visit until the end, so he was probably waiting for my arrival by now. With this in mind, I prepared for my departure. Leon's country, I knew where El Dorado was because Mizari had guided me there before. Therefore, we would be there in a moment with teleport. I will be your escort. I felt safe with Sally. Don't forget about me, my lord. Ranga poked his head out from behind me, appealing to me. Oh good, good. I nodded while enjoying the fluff. He was always with me anyway, but he was cute like this. And now, I was somewhat reluctant to go, but I had already informed the other party. It was always better to just get the unpleasant things done quickly, so I stood up. Well then, let's go. Muttering to myself, I activated the teleport as Shuna and Rigard saw us off. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoy it.